Hello everybody, Blue Dooley. We're back on the 53 hauler. We're getting some more paint finished. We're getting a winch set up. We're kind of waiting for some paint to dry so we can get some tires mounted back on the truck. And working on a few accessories. In this video we're also going to start painting the body. I just need to do a little work on these back panels here, clean them up a little bit more. And then we can get painting hopefully. So let's get into what we've gotten done, which isn't a whole lot, but I do actually have figured out how I'm going to put the back end back together completely for the wheel lift. The one place I ordered the actuator from, after 3 weeks, I emailed them and said it never showed up, and they're like, oh well, we'll give you a refund and then give us the money back and we'll send you a new one. I was like, well, I don't have the time to wait another 3 weeks. So just cancel my order. So I found it somewhere else, and hopefully it should be here Tuesday or Wednesday. But I got the last coat of gunmetal on the back end of the truck, and then we need to mask the gunmetal off so I can actually paint some body color on the back end of the truck, which I think we will get to in this video. But yeah. This wheel lift's kind of been a pain in the ass, but I think I finally got it 100% figured out. And I got the winch mounted. I need to unmount it so I can paint the little plate it's on. But we're finally kind of getting to the home stretch. So this is just a Endura winch that the local hobby shop had. And 39 bucks. It also came with the controller, which has battery leads, not the adapter. It's just a Dean's plug or a T-plug, but it has metal cable. And what I've done is I drilled out this so I could fit this chain through. This is tow chain from Racing. And then I made some J-hooks out of brazing wire, which I didn't get a smooth bend on. But if you actually look at roll-off trucks, they actually have these big old J-hooks because they'll just hook them up into holes in the frame or right on control arms or axles to pull the vehicle on with. That makes just hooking onto it far simpler than trying to actually find an adapter to go to the factory tow points or tie-down points. And I cut the chain short, so this will actually be what holds the front of the vehicle down. And I just test fit this, but I made a small J-hook and then the regular hook, and that'll go over, that'll loop around the back axle, hook to itself, and then these J-hooks will hook into the bed. And because unfortunately the other hooks are just a tad bit too big to actually fit in there and hook on, but it'll hook to itself. Like I said, just loop around the axle and on the back toe tie down points, and then the winch will just pull the truck kind of tight. And that's basically how you actually tie a vehicle down to a roll-off truck. Of course, the bed doesn't roll off, but that's all right. Doesn't matter. That's how I'm going to have it work. Because if it works that way, the second vehicle will be off the wheel lift, which I did drill out a size bigger. And I did decide, I actually found I could drill out a U-joint and run a bolt right through the housing of the actuator, and this has enough meat on it. It'll allow all the movement I need, and I can run a bolt through all of that, so that'll be a nice snug fit. Now this cross member is this aluminum channel, which actually fits like this way in the chassis really nice. So the actuator is going to be centered, And then these are going to go on either side of the actuator to keep it from walking too much or putting too much side load on the actuator. And to kind of clean things up and hide stuff, I got to cut another piece out, but that channel will fit in here, and that'll kind of cover up all the rough cuts and hide some of the stuff, even though the bed's going to be on here, so you're not going to be able to look in here very well. But that'll also give the ramps a little more meat to sit on. But pretty happy with the way the winch came out. That didn't take me too long to bend these up. But I've been kind of fiddling because I had to move some gravel. So I made these up kind of earlier in the week. And they're not very uniform, but you're not going to actually see most of them. The wife has a lot of little pins. So I'm going to shorten these down a little bit. The flies are attacking me. And then heat them up, stick them here. I'm going to put 3 of them in each block and then paint them. And they're going to mount back here on the bed. And I notched out a little square in the side panel. So these would be like on the back of the truck. You've actually seen them, levers to run the bed. So these levers will essentially kind of run the wheel lift and the winch if the truck were real. So those are going to be bolted to the bed bottom, and they'll just kind of be hanging out. So that's the rest of the bodywork I need to do. I need to file these up a little bit, but these will tuck in behind. Those will tuck in behind, and those pins will stick out not farther than the body, but it'll be kind of one of those little details. If it's not there, you're not going to really notice, but when it's there, you're not going to really notice, but you'll go, oh, when you do notice. Right now, I am trimming out the first piece of the aluminum diamond plate for the bed, and this stuff is very thin. In fact, it's thin enough even Lexan body scissors will cut it. But for the tie down points here, I got a drill bit that fit in the hard plastic here, in those pieces. Drilled through the aluminum, and that is very easy to tear up, so you have to be very careful drilling holes in this because it is very thin. So then I squared it up with the Dremel a little bit. I think I'm going to take a file and square these up with a file. I just don't think if the Dremel catches a little bit or too much, this stuff's just so easy to rip. But I got this particular ramp fitting. I need to trim these open a little more. Trim these a little bit more to get the ramp to fit in there. And then what I'll do is, the mounting holes are tiny enough. I should be able to drill through backside through to put the hole in the tin for all the hold downs. And then I have a fairly big center punch that almost lines up perfectly with these countersink bits or countersunk holes. So I think I'll just be able to tap on the mounting holes, and then the screws will hold it in place. I think that's going to work out really, really well. So I put the bed kind of together. It's 3 sections, here and here. The middle section's the shortest. And as you can see, 3 pieces of the diamond plate will completely cover the bed. So that leaves me a 4th sheet in case I mess up. I'm not exactly sure how. I'm going to cut the battery tray out in this notch. And then the winch actually bolts here and folds down and covers that. So I'll have to measure how far it is from the inside, how big, and then I'll probably drill 4 tiny holes at each corner and then probably Dremel it out. None of the holes for any of the wheel chocks are going to be in the bed, and these front ones are not going to be in the bed either, as I'm really going to try to minimize the holes I'm going to put in the aluminum so I don't risk tearing the aluminum up because it is so thin. But I think the diamond plate is going to look really slick on there. It isn't going to stay shiny. I got a big can of self-etching automotive primer, so I'm going to, after I get all the holes in these, I'm going to give them a little scuffing with a Scotch-Brite pad and then put down the automotive primer, self-etching primer, and then I'll be able to put the paint on top of that and hopefully get the paint to stick really good to that aluminum sheeting. I might try to put something heavy on here and get these flattened out correctly, or hope that the holes that I drill in them to bolt them down will hold them in place and not scuff up the paint too much when I'm putting it together for the final assembly. But that is kind of where the bed's at right now. Now that I got these holes marked on the back, I can actually mask this off and primer this back part of the bed for its gunmetal. And then I'm going to tape off the taillight assemblies. So part of the bed here will be on the back, will be diamond or body color. There'll be kind of a little stripe of the gunmetal to match the sides of the bed. I think that's just going to look really, really slick. But that's where the bed's at right now. So I used a board and this roll of tape to actually, when I flipped this over, press down and make sure the diamond plate was as tight as I could get it up against the bottom of the bed here. And then after I got the 4 holes drilled, I just centered this and jammed it in there. Again, with the board backing it. I did get a little tearing around that one for sure, maybe one of the others. The aluminum tore a little bit, but the screw heads are going to cover that up. So if you are doing this again, just be very careful and just gently but firmly press real slow, and these will countersink really, really nice. So that makes me pretty happy. This one particular piece does not come up here to this first set of mounting holes, but this one will. So I might actually, I'll have to glue the front of this, I think, even though this will be bolted here in the back. But I think I'm going to have to put a little glue here on the edges just so people don't get cut on it. And then I'll put some glue up here in front. But I'll be able to bolt it down, or put a little bit of glue, bolt it, put a little more glue, bolt it, then let this whole side set, and then put some glue up here in the front and really press it flat and get it pressed into the glue so it stays in place. And then I'll probably on this sheet just do the 4 holes in the 2 middle sections where the front and the rear bolt to the middle section. I think that'll hold that one down really good. And then the front has enough holes, I think I'll be able to get it mounted kind of similar to this. I might have to glue it at one end and then bolt it at the other. But I am happy with the way this is going. This is a very slow process because again, this aluminum is just so thin. I don't want to tear it. So I notched out the channel iron, well, channel aluminum, got that mount spaced in there where I want it. I'm gonna have to do a little more clearancing to get the bolt in there and the actuator bolted in place. But that brought that a little bit closer to the rear of the truck. I am, however, all out of nuts for this size screw I have, so I'm kind of at a stuck point for a minute. And we're gonna try, this is the dash, and I drilled the gauges out. We're gonna stick the stickers to some Lexan, glue that in place, and hopefully get some LEDs mounted behind them and illuminate the gauges. At least that's the plan. But I need to get this cleaned up and get it primered, because this will be body color. And I just finished up the first clear coat on the wheels. We'll actually come over here. Gunmetal on black, I know. But all the wheels on this side have at least one coat of clear. The cab guard has a coat of clear. The bumper has its first coat of clear. The chrome piece that actually mounts the body to the chassis and mounts all the grille components to that, I didn't actually strip the chrome off of it, so it's still shiny. But all of this is going to be hidden behind the body anyways, and I want the light buckets to be still chrome. So I just hit it with one coat of gunmetal just to kind of hide it better. When the body's on, you won't actually see it as much as if it had been. It's not polished on this side, but it's still kind of chrome. And then that has its first coat of gunmetal on it. That's the winch mount. And the next order of business is they sent me all the new chrome parts, which actually came with some new mirrors. So I cut off the mirror. And I'm going to use the lower mirror bracket for the lower part of my West Coast style mirror. And that's just going to fit in there like that. And we should probably actually turn the cab so it's a little easier to see it. Because if you actually driven a truck, you know mirrors are really important. So I got that bent out, so that should be far enough out. I'm gonna print a mirror bracket to bolt to this. This is just brazing rod again, the same 16th brazing rod I used for the shift levers. And I'm gonna bend it up here to look like West Coast style mirror. And I'm not sure if I'm going to come straight over into the bracket for the visor, or if I'm going to come back a little bit towards the cab. Just kind of depends on what I think looks good, but I am happy with how far out that is. So the truck is going to have West Coast style mirrors, or actual truck mirrors on it, instead of these little hot rod mirrors that can barely see past the bed. So, but I think these will look really cool. Of course, the chrome will be painted, and I don't know if I'm going to glue these in place or kind of make it force fit. That way, if I do need to transport it, I can fold it in or take them off pretty easy. So let me bend this over and then we'll trim it a bit. As you can see, it's kind of, well, there's the top. So it'd be kind of something like that. I don't know if maybe I should have another bar kind of Y off, come a little bit further on the cab, or I might actually bend this so it's even with the top of the windshield, and then I can come into my visor bracket, tie into that. I think that might actually work a little better. But the overall height and how far out it hangs, I'm actually pretty happy with that. And here's the stock mirror, but I could maybe even glue that as a little convex kind of mirror. I don't know, but I definitely wanted some bigger mirrors on the truck, especially since so far I haven't actually seen anyone put custom mirrors on it. So I do want to do some little details that a lot other people maybe haven't tried yet. I got the last 2 chrome pieces stripping, and yeah, we're getting some paint done. I got to figure out the Cricut so I can cut out my masks. But that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to play around with the Cricut so I can get some masks made up for the cab and the bedside. And I never did get back to cleaning up those holes on the bedsides, so I need to do that too. But as always, subscribe so you can see more progress on this truck and other things coming up on the channel. And be sure to like, because it helps the algorithms and it helps the channel out. And all it costs you is the finger click. We'll catch you later.